doing? 2:30 in the afternoon. We are traveling, and I like to do live streams when we're traveling when I don't have to drive. See, look, hands are not on the steering wheel. It makes the time go by and the trip a little bit more interesting. So, Palmetto, I saw your post with you on top of a framework that you had built out of wood, and I think you had said, I missed this, I think I should build another, and I was like, yes, I think you should. There's Moonshine, hello, and there's 7Heather7, shalom. Moonshine shelling dried beans for planting next year, yahoo! I still have some of my cowpeas that need shelling, and the plants are pretty much gone. I may have a few that are barely hanging in there. And I think I've got 2 plants in my garden hoop houses that are doing okay. And there's Scotty John, shalom, and Nancy C, shalom, and Linda Hipple, who's a moderator, shalom, Sister Kate and crew. Linda Hipple, excellent gardener, gives great gardening advice and tips on the channel. If you read her comments and things, she's very knowledgeable. These are Blue Lake bush beans. So you're talking about green beans, and I was talking about like a hard shell black-eyed pea. Some people call them purple hull peas. The package that I bought them from said cow pea, but they're black-eyed peas. It's all the same. They're good for our area. They did so well this year. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I can't emphasize it enough because of all the stuff we've tried that didn't work. There's Grandma Ginger's farm. Shalom. Good to see you, SK. Good to see you too. How is your farm going? Excited for the possible inbound rain here in eastern Oklahoma. Hopefully no. What's your weather? Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday? There's Ken Borland, said safe travel. You said cowpeas did good out this way? Yes, indeedy. They did great for me. I got them at my local co-op. And they put on a really long bean body with 16 to 18 peas in it. It's good return on the investment. Well, you betcha. So, how was everyone's Sukkot? There's the tradesman. Shalom, Sister Kate. I've got to say that it went by fast for me this year, and we were pretty busy. I had some people coming and some people going, and lots of food to be made. I was going to just touch on the topic of Sukkot, like name your 3 favorite things about it. Let me see. I'll just wait for you guys to answer that. What was your 3 favorite things about Sukkot? Weather was good, said Scotty John. Nice. Our weather was pretty good too. We were not freezing cold. It was cool at night, warm during the day. Shalom, Sister Kate says, Silver Main Biz. What was your 3 favorite things about Sukkot this year? Palmetto. Let me read. We finally had a meal plan for every meal the whole time. Now, I have done that in the past where we did all 3 meals together the whole time. But over the years, as the group has changed and, different things have gone on, we are comfortable with 1 meal together each day, and sometimes not even that. But meal planning really does make it easier. It makes it easier no matter how many meals you're eating together or who you're having come. All right. And one thing, well, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Linda Hempel, family time, good food, and weather great after Milton hit. How refreshing it was to get a mental recharge. I agree with that, tradesman. Um, Sukkot was amazing. So glad to hear yours was great too. My three faves were camping and being closer to nature and Yahweh, the food and the time off work, and life to focus more on Yah and fellowship. I think that's really well said. Heather 7. Meeting with Yah, hanging out with friends, and knowing the feeling of being blessed was what Nancy liked. That's also true. Fellowshipping, feasting, and planning for next Sukkot. Right? So you guys have touched on all the things that I felt too. I feel like each Sukkot, we experience the good and bad of our plans. We had a really good plan for feeding people this time around when we had a big group event. That worked like clockwork. I love the campfire stuff. Even though I didn't get a whole lot of time, didn't spend a whole lot of time at the campfires, I still like them. They're still kind of mesmerizing to look at. And people just start talking when they're around a campfire. You know, the kids are excited, and it brings up older memories and things, so I agree with that. Palmetto said, Sukkot gets better every year. And as you do it, like you're planning for the next year, you get to, what do you call it? Look at what worked. Look at what you want to do. One thing we've kind of neglected in the last couple of years has been filming the sukkah. And we've had sukkahs in the past, and that's actually kind of fun. And it's also fun to sit in the sukkah. Something else that we did this year that we really liked was have a game night where I have a favorite game, PJ has a favorite game, friends have favorite games. This year we did it, it wasn't just a fly-by-night thing. We actually took one of the nights and said, tonight is the game night, and got together and we played games for from 4 to 10 or something. I mean, for a long time, and had a good time. Just same thing as fellowshipping, only on a different level. So that was good. Let's see what he said. There's Landon Wold, shalom. Absolutely Palmetto. Sober party, shalom from work, laugh out loud. C103 said, camped with brother and family at Cloudland Canyon Park this year. Wow, that sounds amazing. It also gets easier every year because all the rugrats get bigger, right? And you can have helpers. That was the only thing we missed because we were under a burn ban. Man, I missed the campfire.
We were under a burn ban too.
Yeah, well, we made sure we had buckets of water nearby. Sadly, we couldn't honor the fire part. We were under an enforced burn ban. Everything here is crispy, and people near us had a fire and a lot of property loss, so we did not do that portion. Games sound fun. I should add, it's totally a blessing to make it fun and memorable for our children as well. Their excitement. Exactly. Especially with the foods and the desserts and whatnots. So the thing about the food, like I said, it takes up a lot of time and planning. But we personally had a lot of leftover food as well, which ended up being a blessing because it frees me from having to cook, a lot of food in the aftermath of the holiday. And we did something else that really helped us, which was the Shabbat. Near the end of it, or after the end of it, we decided to call a family Shabbat, and so everyone just stayed home for that Shabbat, and that was really restful too, not to after having spent, time going here and there and getting together, it was nice not to do that. It was nice to just chill. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, what's your favorite Sukkot dish? I don't know if I have one favorite. We did enjoy the Shofar Mountain watermelon, which grew from somebody spitting a watermelon seed off the porch last year. That's kind of tradition, even though we didn't have any say in it. We have had before Mediterranean food night, which is kind of something I enjoy, where we, try to make heroes or falafel or.
It's kind of like Passover.
Yeah, it's kind of like Passover. Some hummus, some pita bread, some like Mediterranean potatoes, or I'm trying to think of what some of the other stuff is called. Not tahini. Tahini's part of hummus. Anyway, that's kind of fun. And then we had a lot of briskets. A lot of brisket this time around. Palmetto. That depends on if it's hot out or if it's cold out. Cold out, it's a tie between chili and potato soup. If it's hot out, steak or brisket. Yeah, that makes sense. I love Feral Gardens. Our chickens planted sorghum in the spring. That's a really cool thing to be growing.
And it's windy.
Super windy.
Imagine being in one of those Sprinter vans.
No, I can't. Just kind of windy that'll knock a trailer right over. Sure will. So, Sukkot now is over, and so we enter into a period between the feasts where it's like 6 months of spiritual darkness or whatever, winter, whatever, however you want to look at it, which is always kind of like PJ and I have to completely switch gears, going from trying to keep cool in the heat of summer and then trying to keep warm in the cool of winter. And so for us, it means a lot of planning. We have to plan what we're doing with our livestock. We have to plan tending to our property. There's wintertime activities there that need doing, just like in the summer, there's gardening. There's putting things away for the next season. There's improving things. There's chainsawing and wood gathering, and also not a bad time to do some construction. And you know me, I've always got some kind of little project going on, some kind of pallet build or shelter thing or something. Well, thanks, 7 Heather. And then, of course, we've got that election coming up soon. That's going to be a whole thing. I know there's a lot of people who are concerned and looking at the possibilities around that, since election time in our country can be kind of kooky, kind of crazy. Sometimes it's nothing. It's a big nothing burger, and sometimes it's a big pain in the rear end. Like, I don't know how many of you remember the hanging brads or the hanging chads of an election down in
Bush.
Right? Bush, Florida. Wasn't it Florida? Where they had that? Had to have a recount on those because, supposedly some of the ballots had hanging chads on them and were miscounted. The election season of 2020 with the COVID raging and the rioting in the streets in major cities all over our country, that was pretty outrageous, really. So, what's going to happen? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Okay. Nancy C says they're in construction mode on their property. We had a timber rattler come through camp and didn't mess with us, and we left it alone. Well, that's kind of exciting. I might want to leave a timber rattler alone also.
I might want to make a hat band.
Yeah, I don't know when you're. Yeah. I think you pick your times and your situations with poisonous snakes. Sometimes you just want them to go away. Sometimes you want to leave that area. Yeah. So what do you all think? Do you think anybody feel anything in the air where stuff is going to go terribly, terribly wrong? Like, I feel like right now there's not a whole lot of election excitement, you know. We get in our news just the stuff we expect. CNN is trying to make one side look bad and the rest of the channels, it's just so, I don't like it. I don't like watching them. I don't like hearing them. It's just like, do your job, do it well. Stop trying to manipulate everybody. Stop trying to influence things, you know? Candidates, get your beliefs and your platform out, and everybody form your opinion. Let's see if anybody's made a comment on there. Give me a 5x5 or a thumbs up or something if you can still hear me and see me. Because I see there's 31 of you in here, and the comments have not updated. Oh, let's see. Well, it says we're still alive. It says we still have time. So can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Thanks, honey. It says 31 people. Let's see if there's something else I can do. Share. No, I don't want to share it. Add. All right, y'all. Still waiting. How's the comms?
It probably already answered you and it's just hung up.
Right, it's just hung up. Circle, 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 circle. 34 people in the chat. That's pretty awesome. All right. Let's see if I can tell you guys a story.
Here's a story of a man
Named Brady. Should tell a dog story. So my first memory of having a dog as a pet, we were in the Philippines. My family was, my dad was stationed at the embassy there, and I was about 6 years old. And I guess within the embassy family, people kind of, well, I know for a fact, they would get together and talk to each other and all that. And so there was a family who was Dutch who were leaving, and they had a dachshund who probably, well, I've never seen European dachshunds, but he was a pretty big dachshund. He was pretty sturdy, had long ears, was kind of long, definitely bigger than the mini dachshunds we see these days. And his name was Diak, which apparently in Dutch might mean something like badger dog or something along those lines.
Dachshund means badger dog in German.
Yeah, Dachshund means badger dog in German, and Diak is some version. So my dad comes home from the embassy with this dachshund, and I liked the look of it. I mean, it was black with the red markings. And he was very friendly, with kids. He'd been raised with kids, so we got along with him fine. And the first time I heard him bark, I was impressed. Like, this guy, even though he's about the size of a basset hound or a little bit smaller, he had a heck of a bark. He had a big boo-boo. And so when people came over and knocked on the door and things like that, he definitely alerted us, which was a good thing. And then come to find out, like most dachshunds, he liked to chase or attack small moving furry creatures. And we found out the hard way that things like kittens and cats, he hated cats. He chased the heck out of cats. We even had a woman who said, my cat's not afraid of any dog. It stood up to German Shepherds and all sorts of things. And when Dioc went for that cat, it just scooted. It knew better. But come to find out, as he got older and our family changed, and we had less people in the family and we got older, he was actually very neurotic. He did not like to be away from us. He did not like to be on his own in the house for very long. And so this one time when we left him alone in our house and came back several hours later, he had chewed a huge hole in the door trying to get out. Like, it kind of horrified my mom. It surprised us and kind of horrified us how much damage he did in the time that he had been left alone. And he also got a little bit crankier as he got older.
Kind of like you.
Kind of like me, kind of like other people we know who get older and get cranky. And so he started to be a little bit more nippy and things like that. And he had to be put to sleep because he injured his back on yet another occasion where he had to be locked in the house by himself, and he tried to get underneath this board and got stuck in there and injured himself. So he eventually had to be put to sleep. But he was the first dog ever that we had that I remembered as a family. And he traveled from the Philippines to Thailand and then back to Indiana in the United States with us, and then to Virginia. So we had him a good long time. And he was good for, being a guard dog. He did get attacked once by a German Shepherd, and that was not good. He got kind of tore up, and we took him to the vet. He recovered, but other than that, he was an excellent little dog. And when you think about where his life went, from being in the Philippines to different parts of America, he'd seen a lot of the world, really, when you think about it that way. And after that, we never did get another dachshund. But that's okay. Like, we've had all kind of dogs, and you've seen the latest. There's the Ridgeback back there sleeping. So, yeah, that was my dog story. Anybody now? Can you hear me? See me? Comment? Somebody raise your hand. It says I've been on for 24 minutes, and there are 28 of you in the chat. So maybe my phone is frozen. I don't know. Let me see if I can do something here. What do you think?
Man, there's a lot of them, dude.
They're so connecting. Reconnecting. Okay. I just reconnected to my own live. You guys still here? It says there's 28 of you, and we've been going on for 24 minutes. Can somebody give me a thumbs up?
Is there anybody out there?
Right? Is there anybody out there? It says you're there. Oh boy. There we go. I'm definitely still here. I don't know about the rest of them. Oh, I had to push a different button. I see you. There's Dusty. Yeah, and Linda Hipple, 5x5. Excellent. And Sean. Hey, Sean.
Sure.
We're here. Yay. I'm so glad I get to see you. We heard you the whole time, so you heard my story. So tell me about your dogs. What was your first dog? There's Powerful Preps. Welcome to the channel.
That's gotta be a fire, right?
That haze.
Yeah.
It's a fire or somebody like driving their tractor across a really dusty field.
Big
Just
fire.
smile if you can hear me. Is anyone home? We grew up with Ridgebacks as well. Actually had many since. They have Great Danes now. There's Rock Lake Ranch. Shalom. I know what kind of dog you all have. You all have a Rottweiler, yes, or a boxer? Palmetto Pear. My first dog was a mutt. Mutts can be outstanding dogs as well. Mutts can be just so cool and lovable. We had a mutt named Max in college, and he was a sweet little dog. Mutts are usually a lot healthier. Yeah, you get that crossbreeding. Rottweiler with a tail, not docked. We had a Doberman Pinscher with ears not docked, but the tail was docked. They look pretty all right. In 2020, my wife left overseas with my 1-year-old. Oh, got a phone call, y'all. I'm gonna have to decline that because I'm trying to talk to you all. My first dog was an Akita. Hockenberry Holler. Currently, we have a Scaredy German Shepherd. I named him Frisky because I watched a Frisky cat food commercial when he was given to me. Dusty, love that your dog helped you through your hard time. Yeah, you needed each other. Dogs can be great companions, you know. It's very seldom that a dog ignores you like a cat will. And especially on the homestead, I know my husband's done a lot of videos on good homestead dog breeds, but it really is true. The livestock guardian dogs are really awesome for keeping predators away. When we had big livestock guardian dogs, there was not an armadillo or a possum or a raccoon to be seen. They took care of all of those, but the Ridgeback tends to be more barking at things that are around the house. He's not so much to wander out there, at least as far as I can tell. First dog was an English black lab named Toby and would poop and walk at the same time. He had problems. There's the encouraging community. Shalomi, my homies. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. When I was 19, I ditched all my friends and got a pit bull. Ugh. I don't think I would. Well, I would say we didn't want one, but we wound up adopting one.
We had a pit bull puppy for a while.
Yeah, in Hawaii until I got pregnant, and then we decided we did not want to try to do the pit bull puppy and a baby at the same time. And so we put it up for adoption, and a local family who hunted wild pigs adopted our dog. And we thought, cool, she's going to have a really exciting life hunting wild pigs on Oahu. Okay, let's see what else. There we go. So yeah, what I was trying to say is, especially my personal favorite is Australian Shepherds because they are really smart dogs. And they do have the herding instinct. Like with the first one I ever had, he would follow me and nip my heels as I pushed a wheelbarrow down the street, you know, dumping leaves or whatever. Like he was herding me at the same time. And then another breed I really like, very similar, is the Australian Blue Heeler, who they also have that instinct. And the one that we had would help me herd the chickens into the coop without me even, you know, telling her how to do it. She would just start doing it. So they really do help on a homestead. They cut down on the amount of work you have to do. And people with the border collies who like round up herds of sheep and cattle, they're fast, they're efficient, wonderful. There's Lone Star Living. Awesome. We had an Australian Shepherd and Heeler mix. I loved her. Better than a van down by the river. Sean, I had a dog named Corky, but as you know, I have Gemma now, mixed breed, but she's a great companion. That's right. Y'all better behave. The van hammer is in the house. Lone Star Living. Poodle pointers are great hunting dogs. I believe that. Texas Justice. Lone Star Living's a good guy. Good all-around guy.
I met him.
I went from the city to a solo homestead. Never had a pet, but now 30 chickens, a dog, 3 cats later, and a cat living in a cabin down by the creek. That sounds like a homesteading experience. We have 2 cats, both of whom adopted us, and we're not cat people. But these cats, they do keep mice. Like we found a mouse, the front and back half of a mouse recently in our yard. So they do keep, down pests. But man, they are just like the one cat, just temperamental as anything. She will sit outside and meow and meow and meow. And I can just tell by her meow what she wants. And if I don't give it to her, she'll stick her claws in the screen of her screen door and be like, meow. Like, listen here, cat, you don't get to tell me what's on the menu. You're just going to eat what I feed you, you little rascal. I had a blue heeler pup, but someone shot it. That's terrible. JC Fixer says, hope you two are well and happy. Thank you. Our shepherd herds us to bed at bedtime, herds us and the cat, then he lays in front of the bedroom door. Yes. Have to go. Time to finish chores. Be blessed. Shalom SK, says Linda. Thanks for dropping in, Linda. Cats are so bossy and are the divas of the animal world. The other thing I find interesting about these cats, they're outdoor cats. They're just like mini tigers. Like the one attacks lizards and frogs and grasshoppers. And she's constantly practicing. Like she'll be sitting there staring at stuff with her tail moving and then pounce. And she clambers up all kinds of obstacles. She sharpens her claws on tree stumps and things. Like she knows what she is and she acts like it. I'm feeling that, I feel I'm about to adopt a skunk. Whoa, hang on. See the same skinker every night, and the little guy has no fear of me. Just have to talk softly to it if you feed it. That's a double-edged sword there because skunks will eat your eggs and attack your chickens if they have the opportunity. I like cats, but I can't eat a whole one by myself, says Rocklet Branch. Shalom, y'all, says Patty Sanchez. She chases the coyotes and foxes out of the yard. Well, that's all you really need to ask for. My best dog was a Border Collie Australian Shepherd mix. She would herd the chickens back in the coop when I gave her the command. Sometimes those kind of dogs are worth their weight in gold. When you need your chickens to be put up because you have an emergency or you have to go somewhere, it's a blessing to get those birds in the coop and safe before you go. Because you know if you leave them out after dark, something's going to come in there and attack. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants their flock tore up by some wild animal. So it's just really worthwhile to have a dog that'll help you like that. Whew. So did any of y'all have an opinion on the election? I asked that and then the whole screen froze. Like, are you feeling something big and exciting may happen? Something newsworthy or noteworthy? Let's see. There's a heart. Yes. Trump is going to win, and then we're going into World War III, says Paul Meadow.
Trump will keep us out.
PJ says Trump will keep us out of World War III. Anybody else? Anybody else got an opinion? One thing for sure, whatever happens, we'll cross Yaw's desk. Yes, that's true. It does feel like a ticking time bomb, says Silvermane Biz. Thanks for supporting the channel, by the way, Silvermane. I know Brother Jody over there on Buckets and Bibles says it just feels weird, and he thinks everyone should keep very, very alert. Keep head on a swivel. Rockwood Ranch. Praying Trump wins. Well, I went and voted today, and I know that the Trump campaign has been saying vote early, right? They've been saying that, vote early. So
Vote early, vote often.
vote early, vote often. I went in and voted, and there were a lot of people, in my opinion, also voting when I went into my place, and I went in at like 10 in the morning. So I was not expecting many, and I wouldn't say it wasn't like there were 50 people waiting in line, but there was kind of a solid stream. 6 to 10 people came in right after me, so I feel like at least part of Trump's audience is listening and going ahead and voting early. And then there was a clerk today talking to me about voting, and she had said, "Oh yeah, I mailed my ballot in, a week or two ago." So I personally feel like render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. As a citizen, we have a right and a duty to vote. And so that's what I felt personally, and that's why I went. I'm not saying everyone has to do that, but I'm saying that's my motivation. All right, let's see. You guys have some good answers here. I'm going back up. There's Red Prepper. Red Prepper says shalom. Dusty, I've gone out of my way to avoid the election stuff. I feel that as a country, we're going to go through some extreme changes no matter what. I prefer Trump, but no idea what's about to happen. Moonshine said, I think it feels tame comparatively, but they are provoking something to happen. Then Rockwood Branch said, whoever wins, there's going to be trouble. I hope not, but it's possible. And Hopkins Holler said, I know my mailbox will stop being filled with those advertisements that also do make great fire starters. Your question regarding the election and what is to come, I have mixed thoughts of what could happen. And although I think about First Amendment attacks and where things go from there, I do my best to focus on Yah. Prepping and staying alert. I've been to the range more than usual the last few months. That's always a good idea. Not saying one side is corrupt and the other isn't, but the loser side has the awareness. Laugh out loud. There's Lady Smith. Good afternoon. We voted early. First time in 40 years she voted early. Have a great day, y'all. I'm really excited about seeing last year's predictions for New Year, says Dusty. So silly YouTube took it down. Well, and then I did end up posting those things in the comment section. Yeah, it was a whole strange thing. I'm not even sure what it is they found offensive. And then I had to go through a training.
Yeah. Re-education.
A re-education thing, and I don't even know y'all, but it's good you reminded me of that, because sometimes it creeps up on me and I forget that I even do it. But yeah, I always find it very interesting. Palmetto, I don't think they can stop Trump from winning, but they can stop him from getting anything done if they can force us into a world war. And let's not forget, he's People have taken shots or were going to take shots at him twice already. That's pretty crazy in an election year. Metaproxy requests all the efforts to end his existence. Doubt those would stop. So, Seven, Heather, and I were on the same thing. Sean says, I agree. Something feels off. That weird. Yeah. That weird feeling in the pit of my stomach every morning for a bit. I'm not scared at all. I know y'all has us, and I have an awesome try. Okay, hang on, y'all. I'm grabbing something for PJ here.
My drug.
It's a caffeinated drink. I mean,
Caffeine and nicotine, better living through chemistry.
yeah, whatever. It's going to take me just a second. I can show you what I'm trying to go through. There it is. Okay. You're going to get a sound effect here. It's very authentic. Ooh. Yes.
That's blue ribbon.
Except it's
for
not.
the road.
There you go.
Thank you. Oh, it's cold.
It's cold because I put those ice packs in there. That's right. It's a little caffeine to help keep us awake. Lone Star Living. Wait a minute. Dusty. Okay. We're all on a list, said Dusty, and then Lone Star Living said, I voted day one. I don't put much stock in the election these days, but you need data points. My tiny county, just one of the early voting places, had about 20% the population voted before noon. That's a good turnout. Really? What was the training about? I don't remember mentioning any training.
YouTube re-education camp.
Oh, it was just simply trying to point out to me, what it was that had been found offensive. And to be quite honest with you, it was some sort of semantics of some kind, but I don't even remember. Like, it seemed kind of nebulous. Like, if you said you felt something instead of actually claiming that you knew it, it was okay. But if you tried to act like you knew something and weren't a professional, you shouldn't be talking. I mean, it was something really weird like that. All right, I want a drink too, but I'm not going to keep looking. I'll just have a drink of water.
I find the drive goes so much quicker when we're drinking.
The can opening came through loud and clear. Papa top again.
Top.
Oh, for preps. I got to go, God bless. And there's Charles Steiger. Shalom. People have so many feelings, it's not a surprise they get hurt all the time. That's true.
What does Saul say? Facts, not feelings.
Facts, not feelings. Lady Smith laughed at your joke, sweetie. Ho, ho, ho. Let me tell you, he's a cut-up. He's such a funny guy, this guy.
You should do stand-up.
You should do stand-up, absolutely. Oh, look at this. Norm Holland.
I can't.
Norm! He said, pee stop imminent.
What's imminent?
You have to pee. When you're driving and drinking, pee stop is imminent. Oh, Dusty said you could be called the Special Forces comedian.
This is my funny face.
That's right. I'm laughing, can't you see? Snarkism is an art. Been following Pastor Joe for over a year on Patreon. So, there we go. Try that. Oh, interesting. Doesn't show anybody. Let me go back to that one. Here we go. So So Charles, what kind of content were you looking for? What on Patreon are you enjoying listening to? Do you have time for a question not related? Yes, absolutely, George. Go ahead. Yes, here I am. Woohoo! Thoughts on potential for a weeks-long confirmation? Not sure what you mean by that, Lady Smith. Can you be more specific? And George, I'm waiting on your question. It was breaking up pretty bad, said Charles. Yeah, I went through a low spot. Oh, I can definitely see them taking weeks and months to have the results of the election. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Post the fifth count. I guess that's kind of what you're saying, Lady Smith. It may take them a while to get all the results back.
Well, they got to get their cheating game on.
Lady Smith, I think the potential for results being delayed for weeks. Yeah, there you go. And George, they have to count all the votes so they know how many to add, said Palmetto. What is the breed of sheep you have? It's a meat variety. I think it's a Katahdin mix. We had a whole sheepish episode before we decided to go traveling where the whole flock got out of their area. And so PJ spent time getting them back, which is always an adventure because it's not like they're leash trained or anything. So he usually has to bribe them with some grain or something. And, excuse me. And so I went up to see how he was doing, and I was sitting in the Terex, excuse me, and the pastor was walking away from the fence. He'd gotten them all settled. They had hay and they had water. And I saw the billy goat look through these 4 strands of electric line and just jump right through the middle of them, like in a space between the 2 of them. He just popped right out and walked over to PJ. And that was an ended up putting the ram in a separate location that he should not be able to get out of, and then left the ewes in their own pen because they tend to be so much wanderers when they've got food and water available, and we headed out. So it'll be interesting when we get back. Now let's see. George, this is our first year celebrating all of Yah's feasts and following the Torah as best as we can. How do you tell family and friends that we are not planning on celebrating Christmas this year? You can either tell them, or you can just politely, when they invite you to do something, say, well, we're not participating this year.
I wrote the same long email to everybody telling them the generalities and inviting them if they had any questions to asked me, and no one asked any. But I said, I'm not doing Christmas, not giving you gifts, don't want any, that kind of thing.
Right. I mean, definitely you're going to want to talk about the path you're following and what you're starting to see and believe, and make that the basis for. You don't want to make it doesn't have to be like a conflagration with your friends and family. You don't want it to be a big point that we get all hurt and upset over. You want it to be like a gentle, we're just deciding to go down a different path. We're following our beliefs and convictions. We're reading the word every day, and this is where we feel we should be going. And be honest. We have to look at all those hanging Chad things. Bucket training, livestock is the only way to go, says Lone Star Living. Once they hear those trees shaking in the bucket, they come running.
Oh, they follow our terrace.
Yeah, it's safer for us to be in the terrace because these sheep are pretty big. And if they all try to get in the bucket at the same time, they'll yank it right out of your hand. Crowder is supposed to live stream the election with people investigating issues at polling places as they happen. That'll be interesting to watch. Sheep are almost as dumb as sheeple, said Norm. You're always so cheerful. Thank you. I'll look up the breed. We have to get more animals on the property by the end of the year. My heart longs for fellowship with y'all. That's it. That's the post, said Silver Party. All right, y'all. I am going to go ahead and shut down the live stream now. We're heading into areas where the service just isn't very good. But I appreciate all your comments and questions and look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. So thank you. Shalom to you guys too. And I will see you on the next live. Bless you all. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And then let's see, like that.